Welcome to another episode of literally the coolest podcast on the planet with the coolest listeners on the planet. We have lunch with amazing people, and while they feed their face, we steal their sauce. Welcome to Lunch with the Cool Kids.
Oh. Welcome to Lunch with the Cool Kids. That would be terrible. That would be a terrible show if I just did that for 45 minutes to an hour. Welcome to Lunch with the Cool Kids, everybody. My name is Gerald Davis, and you are at the lunch table. However you're listening, wherever you're listening, if you're listening, hey, you had a hard science class. Algebra, not your strong suit. But now you're at the lunch table. So, congratulations, you made it. Man, it's been a while, y'all. And I missed y'all faces. I was like, oh man, the cool kids. I haven't talked to them in legitimately 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks? I think it was like 2 weeks. So last week, I'll get to where I was last week. In the biz, we call that a teaser. Before last week, I did a show. But so for those of y'all who follow my YouTube channel, y'all saw that I completely blew the whole thing. I messed up bad. Take that back. I didn't mess up bad. My streaming service messed up bad. So I was like, hey, man, this week I'm going to go live with the cool kids, and we going to do our live thing, and I'm going to talk to them, and they're going to talk to me, and it's going to be great. It was not great. It was not great at all. I recorded the whole thing. I'm not going to say who the streamer was this time, but if I do it again and the same thing happens, then I'm atting you. Recorded the whole thing, did wonderful. The show was the Mount Rushmore of female R&B. Turns out, show sponsored by Saratoga. Y'all know my Saratoga stories. If you don't, go back and listen to literally every episode. I talk about how much I love it. The show talked about the female Mount Rushmore of R&B. Turns out, it's only 4 heads on Mount Rushmore. Go figure. This whole time. So I'm like, I got my 3, and I'm struggling with the other 2. The struggle was mine. The struggle was all mine because there's only one more head to give on Mount Rushmore. Hey, go figure. It's 4 heads on Mount Rushmore. It is in South Dakota, though. I know that. Mount Rushmore, cool kids, is in South Dakota with 4 heads. You want me to name the heads, don't you? Okay, here we go. I'm always down for a good challenge. It's George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, FDR, Thomas Jefferson. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I'm congratulating myself like it is. I feel like that's correct. I was about to say Bush. Not Bush. Bush is not on the Mount Rushmore. George Washington. George Bush would be a horrible, any Bush would not be worthy to be on Mount Rushmore. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, FDR, Thomas Jefferson. That's got to be right? Okay, so as a recap, and I don't want to make any promises, but I think my lovely wife is gonna come back on one show and go over my list. I think I had a pretty solid list. It was Whitney Houston, of course. It was Aretha Franklin, of course, and it was Beyonce. Those are my 100%. Those are my 100% all the way Mount Rushmore. And then apparently there's only one more, not two more, as I thought. Um, I struggled between Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, and somebody else I can't remember. The waters get Mariah Carey. The waters get kind of murky after that point. I asked all you cool kids, had some terrible suggestions. I'm not gonna lie to you. You cool kids came up with the the most the weirdest people to be all-time greats. Somebody said Alicia Keys. Somebody said Jasmine Sullivan. Somebody said Kim. Like, Kim isn't even a woman. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the funny thing about these lists, because you'll stay on this subject and then people start drifting off and like, oh yeah, I used to like I used to like Monica back in the 90s. Like, what are we talking about? So I'm gonna bring her on next time she comes on. We're gonna talk about this list, and because she's such a smart lady. My wife is such a smart lady, and she's so musically inclined. Oh, Janet Jackson. That was another person who was in consideration. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. I take that back. She should be though, right? I mean, y'all give Janet love like that. Y'all do not be loving Janet Jackson like that. And it's so weird because we all understand that she's a trailblazer. We all understand that there would be no Beyonce without Janet Jackson. We universally have agreed that Beyonce is past Janet, but we still don't like we give Janet like flower. Like, we'll give her tulips. We won't give her roses though. Is it because she can't really sing like that? Is that what it is? I don't know. Janet should be in consideration. So last week I went to homecoming. That's why I didn't record a show last week. And I know that y'all were beating down the door. Like, oh, Gerald, we need lunch with the cool kids. What are we gonna do without our lunch table? I know, and I'm sorry, but man, homecoming was this year. It was the second one since COVID. I matriculated at Jarvis Christian University, JCU. We love you, apparently. Not JCC anymore. It's JCU. And shout out to all the master programs. Do you know that that's how a institution goes from a college to a university? Is that the institution offers a master's program? So it's JCU now. Shout out to Jarvis Christian University. So this homecoming was the first. No, it was the second one since COVID. I hadn't been back since 2007. Life had so here's the thing. Here's the thing about homecoming. When you graduate, this is how it goes. You'll graduate. You'll be like, okay, I'm done with this place. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to rock and roll, as the kids say. So you go out, you live your life, you get your crappy job, you climb up to middle management, then you make a significant amount of money, And then you're like, okay, here I am. And then you get old, and then you get fat, and then like your beard start getting gray, men and women. And then you're like, man, and then you start seeing like all of your classmates and peers and stuff like that. Like people start dying, and then people start, all of this stuff. And then you're like, man, in my case, I had spent 8 years in San Diego. Me and my lovely wife, my kids. We spent 8 years in San Diego. Like, I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, not Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Born and raised. I lived there for 18 years of my life. Matriculated at Jarvis Christian University. Graduated. Moved back home. Uh, God, did that whole thing, and then worked for a couple of years, and then we went off to San Diego. San Diego is 30 minutes away from Mexico. I'm black. I'm very black. Like from the head of my, I was going to say the head of my top. That's not it. That's not the same. From the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, I'm black. Every part in between that you can think of is black on me. And in San Diego, there's such a lack of black folk that was just a part of my culture that I didn't have for 8 years. Moved to Atlanta. God is in Atlanta. And ain't nothing but black folk. All these black folk. I can throw a rock and hit a black folk. And it's exciting to throw rocks and hit black folk. Metaphorically, I don't literally throw rocks and hit black people. It would be violent and it would be unnecessary. So here I am in Atlanta throwing all these rocks at all these black folks. But they're not my black folk. Here comes homecoming. So what homecoming really was for me is like, I want to go back and hit my black folk. There's nothing like going back to where like you didn't have to be an adult. You weren't an adult yet. You were Juice, or you were Kobe, or you were Moses, or you were that alpha with the long hair, or that guy who's doing too much. You know what I mean? Like you were that guy. And as an adult, you have so many responsibilities. You have to be so many things to so many different people. You got to be a husband. You got to be a father. You have to be an employee. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to be a black man with the man on your neck. That's a lot to be all the time. So when there's an opportunity for you to go back where you didn't have the responsibilities that you do now, and then you can go back with all the people who didn't have those same responsibilities, and y'all are just discovering adulthood together. Oh man, I wish I would have been. I see now that I'm old and dusty. I see now why so many of the old heads came back every year, because it's just a recall to the time where life was so much simpler. They say that high school is the best time of your life. I would say, well, they don't say that. Some people say that. The people who say that didn't go to college. If you went to college is, well, I don't know. What do y'all think? Is high school the best time of your life, or is college the best time of your life? For me, I think it was college. I met all the friends that, not all the friends, but I met most of the friends that I'd have the rest of my life in college. I met my baby's mother in college. who also happened to be my wife. And luckily for me, it wasn't in that order. So like I met so many, those people, I met so many people and built so many relationships that influenced my life. And I needed to see them. I needed to see those people. And I need to see the people that, I was broke with and, walking around the dusty streets of Hawkins, Texas with these people struggling together. You know what I mean? Like it was a good time. So I needed it. There is nothing like, and I had this conversation with my cousin who he went to a state university. And he did very well. He's a really, really smart guy and a great guy too. I'll let y'all meet him one day. And I was talking to him, and it was so funny because those of us who went to HBCUs, there's a part of us that like man, you look at the big, you look at the state schools and you're like, oh man, they got this and this and this and this and this, and like the campus of 20,000 people and stuff like that. And you're like, oh man, that must be great to go to that little, it's a little city. It's a little city with all, you'll go and you'll go a whole year and not meet everybody in your class. Not HBCU. It's a little more quaint. And but the quaintness of it, you build bonds that you just like you can't explain it. Well, I can, but I'm already 16 minutes into the show, so y'all get it. So I was talking to him, and he was saying, man, you know what? If I had it to do all over again, I would probably go to a HBCU. Like the experience that you have being blackety black and everybody celebrates your blackety blackness, and you don't have to explain the way that you feel about things, and you can get your hair braided in the commons area, and like there's always somebody that can braid, and you know what I mean? Like if you can't play spades, you probably need to go back to your room. Like things like that. Chicken Day on Wednesday. Man, we would dress up. It sounds so silly now, but these are the things that held us and brought us together. We would look forward to Wednesday. And apparently, okay, so my HBCU alumni, Historically Black College and University, for my white and brown cool kids. Yeah, white and brown cool kids. And everybody else, I can't think of any other colors. So my white and brown cool kids. No, talk about Chicken Day. So Chicken Day, we would dress up to go to the cafeteria to go eat some fried chicken. Ain't that crazy? Like, it's so silly thinking about it now. The things that brought us so much joy. Chicken Day. So I thought my whole college career that Chicken Day was just a Jarvis thing. No. Apparently, all the HBCUs, according to my research, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, most of the HBCUs has some version of Chicken Day, if not Chicken Day. Was that a black thing? It's just like, hey, it's chicken. Wednesday is Chicken Day. And forever it will always be. These are the things that we hold on to my HBCUs. So I went back, and it was so good, man. Mainly I went back to hang out with my LBs. Line Brothers. I'm a member Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. All of that. For y'all who think that that's, all that we do. But I was more of a stroller. I strutted. I mean, I stepped. I was a step master of the only step show that I was in. I am incredibly rhythmic. Incredibly. Like, I'm basically a drum. I'm basically a walking, living, breathing drum. That is my contribution to earth. So I was a step master, and like we did a whole show. We had weighted vest on, which makes me very uncomfortable now that I think about it, because I couldn't imagine doing a whole step show alone, let alone doing one with a whole weight vest on. That's crazy. We were mad men back then. We were kings. We were kings back then. So, yeah, went to see see and hang out with my LBs. Didn't get a chance to hang out with all of them, but two of the seven. Well, I guess with me, it was 3 of the 7 that were there. So, shout out to my Deuce. Shout out to my Nasty Nickel, who's now a preacher of the gospel. So shout out to Minister Nasty Nickel and me. It's a good time, man. It was a good time. Shout out to my chapter, my undergrad chapter, Theta Alpha, TA all day TA. Who you with? Ice. A5. I love my A5. I love my A5. I love it. I love it. I love it. Quick story. So, this is our call. Somebody would say, "Hey, brothers, I want to get you guys' attention." So I'm gonna say 19, and you guys reply with 06. Ready? Go. 1906. That's how it goes. And then somebody would say A5. Oh yeah, those are our letters. A is the last one. That's how the calls go. It's very civilized and quaint. I think that's an accurate word. So I legitimately have not participated in this exchange of pleasantries in 15 years. So I get to calling, and then they call back. And then, the blood's pumping, and you go down your roll call of chants. And I left that weekend with no voice. I take that back. It was I had voice, but it was very. It had seen better days. It had seen better days, and I realized I had yells at the top of my lungs in a decade and a half. So if I sound a little bit bleh, that's why. That's why. So it was a good time, man. Shout out to JCU, Jarvis Christian University. I'm putting a blog up on my YouTube channel, Gerald Davis Lunch with the Cool Kids. Search it and you'll see. Yeah, it was a good time. So shout out to Jarvis. It's time for my favorite segment, y'all. And y'all know what that is. And that is, let's call Ambra. Will she pick up the phone? Let's call Ambra. To be fair, this time, it's pretty late. I'm going to give it to you, Ambra. It's pretty late this time. Let's see what happens. That ain't loud, y'all. It's a little loud. I don't think she's going to do it. Can y'all see this? It's real. This is a real attempt.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
And let's call Ambra. Let's call Amber. Everybody doing good? Everybody doing good. Okay. So the season is picking up again. By the season, I have a season in my head. You have no idea what that is. It's spring. Spring is the season that I'm talking about. And spring is picking up again. And me as a photographer, especially an event photographer, my whole world is changing because flowers are on the ground. The pollen is just about washed away and we're ready to rock and roll. So winter is dead. Shout out to winter. RIP. And spring is here and birthday parties and anniversaries and all of this stuff is here. So it's starting to get into my busy season is what I'm getting at. So I've been in business for a while. My first year I did okay. My first couple of years I did okay. But when I started making money was when I started learning these principles of business that I didn't learn until I was in business. And I want to share a couple of those things with you guys because at the lunch table, a lot of us are entrepreneurs. A lot of us are doing our not working for the man thing. And, whether you're a photographer or whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're a real estate agent or whether you're a lash tech. Every example that I give is always with the lashes. Shout out to the ladies who do, and the men who are, what are they, lasticians? What are they? They lasticians, elasticity? What are they? It has lash in it somewhere. So if you do lashes and you know your name, like you introduce a lash tier. Hi, my name is Gerald Davis. I'm a lash. That doesn't sound right. You do lashes. It's a couple of things. that I've learned in business that I want to share with you guys. That black folk don't learn right away in business. And I'm going to call this segment, Black Folk Don't Know This, so you should. It's a working title. So it's a working title. Black folk need to know this. Is that it? I don't know. By the time this airs, we'll have a better title than that. The Colored Creed. Is that it? The Professional's Colored Creed. That's not it. Y'all know that's not it either. Okay. I got a couple of written down. I asked y'all at the lunch table. Oh, let me say this too. No, it's too late. I've already moved on. But no. I'm going to say it before I dive into this because this is the lunch table and this is what we can do. Man, listen, I appreciate this. No, this is worth stopping and saying. Y'all, I appreciate everybody who takes time out of their day to listen to this podcast, to watch this podcast. And I'm being serious. Who watches my shorts or watches my reels or follow me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, however you got here, man, I appreciate it so much. And I realize that you don't have to. There are so many things that are competing for your attention. And for y'all to rock with your boy these couple of moments, man, it means a lot to me. The reason I said that is because I was at homecoming, and you know how you're walking around, and when you're at homecoming, here's the rule. here's the rule to life, but specifically in homecoming. It may not be the rule to life. That may be a bit of an exaggeration, but specifically to homecoming. If you don't know their names, if it's not 110%, like, oh, that's Shaquita. Shout out to Shaquita. Oh, that's Shaquita. I want to hug you, Shaquita. I'm going to hug you and I'm going to let your head rest in my bosom and we're going to lean into this moment. If you don't have that type of assurance, don't you say their name. Don't you guess it. You want to, don't you guess it. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to say Bob and their name is really Chuck. And now the whole interaction is off because they're like, oh, man, we were such good friends. Oh, man, we went through so much together. And like now, after all of these years, I see you and you're doing well. You've gained weight, you've aged, but for the most part, you're doing well. And I want to celebrate that with you, but you don't know my name. My name was Bob, but you called me Chuck. So now it's awkward and I'm just trying to get away. That's what they're thinking. All because you came in hot. You thought that you knew, but you didn't know, did you? You were 7 out of 10. But when you're 7 out of 10, that's a 30% chance that you're going to mess it up. And that 30% chance comes in all the time. If you don't know that Shaquita's name is Shaquita, and I'm not just making that up, there's a very, very lovely person who's a dear friend of mine, Shaquita. Shout out to Shaquita. If you don't know that Shaquita is Shaquita, then don't you try to attempt their name because you ain't going to do nothing but embarrass yourself and you're going to embarrass your family and you're going to embarrass your culture. So you just, hey, ha, and you dive straight into the conversation. If you haven't said their name in the first 15 seconds, it's over. Ship is sailed. It's done. No name for you. You can catch them at next homecoming, and then maybe you can attempt their name again, but don't you go trying to say their name if you don't know their name, because all you're going to do is ruin somebody's homecoming. So everybody who watches this show or follows me or contributes, man, because like podcasting it's weird because I see downloads, but I don't know who. So I don't know who. So there was this one particular person. I'm walking and she says, "Hey, Gerald Davis." I like, because at college, people didn't really, I wasn't really Gerald Davis. I was a couple other things. I wasn't Gerald Davis. I was like, hey, oh my God, it's good to see you, because it was good to see her. I just didn't really, know a name like that, but it was genuinely good to see her. And it wasn't that I didn't know her, and it wasn't that we didn't hang out at school and all of that good stuff. It was just that it was 20 years. And I'm not a magician with memory. So we're talking and we're chatting, and she was like, "Congratulations on the podcast." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Thank you so much, because it's not like I'm Joe Rogan out here. You know what I mean? It's not like that I'm podcasting and, hopping on jets to go do my show in Dubai. So, like for somebody that's not my wife or my 3 friends, you know what I mean? Like to be like, "Oh yeah, I follow the show. It's this, it's that, blah, 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 blah." Man, that meant so much to me. It did. So thank y'all. Thank y'all. Am I going to get it right? Let's see. No. That's not it. Oh, is this it? No. Here we go. So thank y'all. Thank y'all, cool kids. That's why I say, honest to God, man, that's really why I say I'm not the cool kids y'all are. Y'all really are the coolest kids. Y'all really, really are the coolest kids. Y'all like my merch? What you think about my shirt? I'm trying it out. Sorry to my listening audience who can't see this. Go on YouTube. Go to the 35-minute mark. My Lord, we've been talking 35 minutes. What y'all think about my shirt? I'm working on it. So we're in business. And some things that you need to know. Here's one thing that I learned in business, and learning it was a challenge for me because it was counterintuitive of everything that I knew. And that's this. That is, you really can't make significant money by saving it. You really can't make significant money by saving it. And that's so counterintuitive because in my personal life, you're supposed to save your money. Don't spend it all. Don't spend it all. You're going to blow it. You need to save your money. Especially like when you start making money, you start, having a decent job, and you can get, what's the middle gas? It's unleaded. Is it unleaded, regular, and premium? Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's just say it is. So, especially like when you get to the point where like, okay, man, maybe this time I can actually get some regular gas instead of regular unleaded. No, that's not right. Is it regular, super, and supreme? Huh. What is it, y'all? If you're on YouTube, comment below what it is, because apparently I don't know. I don't know the 3 stages of gas, and I don't know how many heads are on Mount Rushmore. And I have a degree. I have a degree from Jarvis Christian University. So between the Fort Worth Independent School District and Jarvis, somebody failed me somewhere because I don't know the middle level of gas. So whatever it is, let's call it middle level of gas. At some point, you'll be able to afford that. So it's like, okay, so when you get to that point, you're like, okay, well, now I need to learn how to save my money. Well, in business, you can't make more money by saving it. What you do is you make money and you reinvest it. You reinvest it back into your business. And in my case, I'm upgrading my equipment. I'm taking courses. I'm learning stuff. I'm using it for marketing. I'm outsourcing stuff, because what they don't teach you as well, especially in my line of work, time is money. And when the more time you're spending doing stuff, the less money that you're making. So in my line of work, and I would imagine in whatever your endeavor is too, is that the goal is to produce the most amount of what you can make the most efficiently as possible. That sentence didn't flow like I thought it would flow in my head, but you guys know what I mean. So now, like when I first started to take a good picture, do a good video, and I would make money. People would pay me, which is still crazy. It's still crazy to me that like people pay me obscene amounts of money. It's not really obscene. It's just what I charge to do these things. Like, the first thing that you do, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go buy this, or yeah, I'm gonna go okay, okay. If we're at the lunch table and we're just being honest, like when I first start like getting more than $100 a gig, I will buy shoes. I would buy shoes because I'm like, hey man, I got this money. I got this quick $400. Let me go buy these Yeezys. Yeah, that's not what you want to do in your business. But don't act like I was the only one. I wasn't there. So after you get all of that out of your system, and it's kind of like, okay, making money from your business is like getting income tax checks all year round. Remember the first income tax check you got where you actually got money back? What was the first, like, if you're like in the 2000s and you start getting these checks, what's the first thing you do? You get this check. You're not going to go buy new tires. You're not going to go pay up your credit cards. You're not going to go invest in an IRA. I'm going to go buy a TV. I'm going to buy the biggest TV that I can find that Walmart has that's obscenely big. And I'm going to put it on my wall. And that's going to be my income tax check. And then I'm going to go back to Struggleville. And then we're going to do it all over again next year. Because back then, remember the plasma TVs? It wasn't even LCD. It was plasma. And like, oh man, I'm going to save $100 by getting this plasma TV. And you get this plasma TV. And then like all the pixels burn out. And like it's got dead spots because apparently you can't keep a plasma TV on. How does that work? My Lord, plasma people. The technology was not there to keep your screen on for more than 12 hours a day. You were going to burn out the screen if you kept your TV on. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we were buying in the 2000s. Why am I talking about this? It doesn't matter, but it boils my baloney that we were like, they were like, oh yeah, this is like $200 less. Like, okay, we're going to save $200 and we're not going to buy the LCD TV. We're going to buy the plasma TV. It's about the same, right? Like plasma TV, you can't see it down the middle. You got to sit directly in the middle. You can't look at it at an angle. You can't have any daylight come in. My Lord, we were living like pigs. We were living like cavemen back in the plasma TV era. So we blow all our money when you start making money. But then like once you get past that, for me, I went into the saving phase. I was like, man, if I always have this X amount of money in my account, then I feel like this is successful because I can look at this account and I can see this amount of money. And that was fine. But once you start learning and once you start, getting around people who are a little bit further than you or a lot further than you, and you take courses and you just sit at the feet of learned, experienced people. It was always invest back in your business. Invest back in your business and get better equipment and get more knowledge and get more strategy and all of this good stuff. Here's a little tip and this applies to the content creation world, and I'm pretty sure this applies to your world too. The type of camera that you have doesn't matter. Let's say that. What do you shoot with? Oh, it doesn't matter. That's the answer. What matters is that you know how to do what you do the best way that you can do it in the most efficient way. If you can do that in a way that solves your avatar's problem, avatar is your ideal client. As solves your avatar's problem, then they will pay you to solve that problem. That is how being a merchant works. You present a solution to whatever somebody's problem is, and they pay you for that solution. They are not paying for your artistic ability. And that's where a lot of us, especially creatives, that's where a lot of us are stuck in the pig pen, because we want somebody to pay us to be artists. They ain't gonna pay you to be an artist. They have a problem, and they're gonna pay the person who can fix their problem. You know who makes a whole bunch of money weekly? The toilet tissue people. The toilet tissue people makes a whole lot of money, and they have a lot of repeat customers, myself being one, and yourself too. You need toilet tissue. Once you do what the good Lord designed, if you should have the desire to clean it all up. Here, that's your problem. Here comes the toilet tissue people. Hey, dirty man or lady. Well, we won't throw the ladies in here. This is the last day of Women's Month. We won't do that to the ladies. Hey, dirty man, you have a problem with your bum, and I have a solution called toilet paper. And then I say, ooh, I want that solution. I will give you I feel like toilet paper's going up, to be honest with you. I really wish that I chose something else, but we're here now. We're all here now. So let's just ride it out together. So I feel like toilet tissue has gone up, but because you have a problem that needs a solution in the most efficient way possible, I have to pay that money for the toilet tissue to solve my problem. Is your business toilet paper, or is it the other thing? Your business should be solving a problem. If you're a comedian, I was going to say a comic. I should have said a comic. My Lord, that was a lapse in judgment. If you're a comic, people have a problem. I want to laugh. Guess what your solution is? Hey, did you ever hear about, you know what I mean? Like, you have to give people a solution, not beg people to pay for your art. Because guess what? If you beg me to pay for your art, and I support everybody, but if you beg me to pay for your art, I'm probably not going to do it. Not if I don't need it. Or if it's time to pay bills, you think I'm gonna let the water go off so I can see you make finger puppets? You know what I mean? But if I have a job that a corporation is doing a presentation on, sexual harassment, but they want to keep it light. So they're going to use a puppet demonstration. I don't know what corporation this is, but I don't make this stuff up. So they want to see. I literally make it up. There's nothing else except making it up. So if I So if I have to do a corporate video on sexual harassment with the finger puppets, now I need you. And now I have a problem. I have a problem that you can fix. Finger puppets. I think y'all get it. I think y'all get it. I'm gonna give y'all two more. I'm gonna be done. The finger puppets. Thing number two. $1,000 is not a lot of money. That's one thing that black folk need to know. $1,000 is not a lot of money. And when I say black folk, I mean me. Because I spent a large part of my life like, oh man, if I can get $1,000, then I'm gonna be good to go. $1,000 is not a lot of money, just like $100 is not a lot of money. If you remember back in the day when we actually like had a bill, $100 bill, and like you can't, like, if you got $100 bill and it's like back in the day, like you're probably either gonna buy clothes or shoes. Okay, so let's throw that out there. So if you want some significant shoes, it's gonna be over $100. So that's out the window. So you start buying stuff. So say you're old and decrepit like me, and you want to go to Walmart and you want to go buy a CD, a compact disc for the cool kids who were born after 2000. So once upon a time in Walmart, you can go in and you can get some headphones like I have now, and they'll have these certain options that you can play. And you push it, boop, 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 and it'll take you to that song. And like, oh man, listening to that song in Walmart was the greatest time ever. Don't you agree? It was a wonderful, wonderful time to go in Walmart and listen to the new Best Man album, or the new Jill Scott, Who Is Jill Scott album, or Dwelle, or Brian McKnight, Back at One. I don't know. I remember that one part, and I'm sure that wasn't correct. You would go to Walmart and you listen to all of this stuff. So I want the Brian McKnight Back at One album. Take me to, what other songs was on there? What other songs was on Back at One? Didn't he have something about a Superman or something? Have y'all heard that latest Brian McKnight song that was noteworthy? It was talking about a woman's anatomy, and I was like, Brian, you song Never Felt This Way, and now you're feeling some type of way, Brian. So what's on the Back at One album? It was something about a superhero. So you want to go buy the Back at One album by Brian McKnight, and you go check it out. It's like $15.99. Let's say $15.99. Let's say $17.23 with tax. Somebody check me on that. And you give them the $100 bill, and you get your change back. And now you got like what? 3 20s, like a 10, a 5, and some nickels. Like, okay, now it's at that point in time, it's just a matter of time. You're gonna buy some gas, you're gonna buy some wife beaters. That's a terrible name for a shirt, but we've all accepted it. How in the We Too, woke council culture thing did wife beaters make the cut? Like, out of everything that we said, no, that is unacceptable. Never at any point in time did anybody like, hey, what about the wife beater shirt? Like, what about the shirt that you put on to go physically assault your soulmate? Oh, no, that's cool. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you can't, you can wear a wife beater, but I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop because I want to stop. I'm gonna stop because I can go on the tangent, and I'm not. Wife beater made it in the council culture, the woke culture. Wife beater made it. So $1,000. That's the long story short. $1,000 ain't a lot of money. So consequently, $1,000 is not a lot of money, and $10,000 is very obtainable. Like, you would like, I can get $10,000. Yes, it's. I'm not gonna say it's very easy, because like there's no such thing as easy money, but like you can get $10,000. Once you get $10,000, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do. And then once you get to $10,000, you can get $20,000. You know what I mean? Like, our relationship with money is one of the most damaged relationships that we have, because money is not a partner. Money is a tool. Money does not have equal say in your life, in your household. Money doesn't tell. Money is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. It's a tool, man. It's nothing but a tool. And when you take the power away from money, then you're able to get money, release money, give money, get money, and it doesn't really shake you, because it's nothing but a tool. It doesn't shape you. It doesn't define you. It's nothing but a tool. I think that's it. I think that's cool, kids. I think that's it. No matter what I say for the rest of this whole thing, it ain't gonna get better than that. If nothing else, I had to remind myself that money is nothing but a tool, and money doesn't define you, and money doesn't give you purpose. Money is a tool, and there are ways, legal ways. That's what the white cool kids have figured out. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. I'm not going to dive into that, but we fear money. Other cultures use money. Once we shift that mindset and just realize money is a tool to get us to where we need to go, and hey man, we're on our way. All right. We good? I think we're good. And we're under an hour too. That's cool, man. I got a couple of more. We'll do it another time. But cool, kids, I sure do appreciate your time. Hey, however you listen to this, leave a review. If it's on Spotify, stars, iTunes, YouTube, hit the like, maybe subscribe. I appreciate it. Hey, I'll see you next time. You go change the world. Don't let the world change you. Peace.